don't know how many times I need to say this. Maybe your ears are clogged. Maybe you can't see. Maybe, I don't know. But you have to keep your trading simple. Stop overcomplicating it. You don't need all these indicators, right? So let me go over this trade that I discussed about yesterday, discussed in the previous video. And this is on QQQ. Don't you love when you say something and like a trade works out perfectly? It's rare that it happens, right? That a trade works perfectly how you planned it. And let me go over it before I even say anything else. So I called out previous resistance here, right? As you can tell, for those of you that know, right here, boom. What is this, 504 roughly? Yeah, roughly 504. We had a previous resistance. I'm on the 15-minute chart. I day trade, but I typically trade on the 15-minute chart just to allow the patterns to come into fruition. I used to trade on the 1 minute, but it can get real choppy real quick. And the 5 minute, I don't really like it. But yesterday, called out. I had this risk to reward box right here just to kind of plan out my trade that I didn't take, unfortunately. So I drew this risk to reward. So our entry point would have been over here. I made the video at like 8 o'clock at night last night, but our entry point would have been at 550. Our stop loss would have been up here at 504, and then our take profit would have been down here 492. That's a risk to reward of 2.4. It's not amazing. I always try to hit 3 or better, and is what I like to do. But in this case, I saw that there was a previous support right here at about 491. So I always like to have my TP, my take profit, slightly above my support or slightly below a resistance, because it's support and resistance, right, are typical, are just ranges. It's not an exact point. Once it hits this point, it's going to bounce. So this is the analysis I had prior to the trade, which I didn't take. The only reason I didn't take it, because when I looked at the charts pre-market, it was about like 9:10, 9:15-ish. It was already trading down here at 493. I'm trying to get out at 492. Like, that risk to reward, bro, from here to here, no, I'm not doing that. Look at how much risk and look how much reward. This is the reward. This is the risk. Did it make sense? I could have re-entered, or I could have entered in this QQQ trade. QQQ, right, for those of you that don't know, it's an ETF that follows NASDAQ. NASDAQ essentially follows the tech stocks, and it's a good indicator of how the overall market is doing. I could have re-entered about here, but I didn't. I had my eyes elsewhere. I had my eyes on, let me put the camera on me. I had my eyes on Old Reliable. Sometimes you got to go back to Old Faithful. You might have something new, but there's going to be times you got to go back to Old Reliable, right? And Old Reliable for me is always NVIDIA. NVIDIA will always be there when I call. So I took a trade. NVIDIA pretty much identically follows QQQ for the most part. And let's go to the 4 hour, right? This is where I essentially do my analysis on the 4 hour, or just to see what overall market conditions are doing, right? So I see here that we're making lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower low, lower highs, lower low. So in my mind, I'm thinking bearish, right? So we go to the 15 minute. The 15 minute is what I typically trade. So I was hoping that, so when market opened, I was just chilling on the sidelines. And I was hoping to enter when it touched the SMA, the simple moving average, which is this green line. I was hoping it would hit 116, because typically in the past, once it hits the SMA, it typically pulls back. Like in this case, it didn't. It's not, patterns don't always have to happen exactly how they happened in the past, but it's a probability game, right? So it never really hit the 116. So I forgot where exactly I entered, because I bought puts. It was not like I shorted it, because I'm turning an account from 3,000 to 1,000, or from 300 to 1,000, excuse me. So I can't short, because you need at least 2,000 in the account. So I entered about I want to say about 115. So let me get my little short tool, my handy dandy friend. I don't use it when I'm actually trading, but I use it to like kind of help show the trade a little bit better. So I entered, it was a little higher, I would say. So I was on a very short leash. I was giving myself a very short leash. being that once it touched the SMA, I probably would have gotten out because I'm not gonna lie, I was a little impatient. I wanted to hop in this trade, and I hopped in a little bit earlier because it never did hit the 116 that I thought it was gonna hit. So I hopped in about 115. So about like right here. Let's go to the 1 minute actually because it's easier to like see what I'm talking about. So where was I? Yeah, I got in about 115. It was closer to like over here. It was like when I was consolidating. So I got in about 115. All right around this range, and it was just consolidating, bro. It was just sitting and just moving sideways. And when I trade puts or calls, you always have to remember theta. Time decay, right? You always have to remember that. And time decay wasn't in my favor, right? Because you need the trade that kind of happened pretty quickly the way I day trade options. And with that theta always just lingering over your shoulder, you got to be quick to the punches. So it was consolidating. It was going in our direction, right? Boom. But then it reverses. And I'm like, theta. We got to worry about theta, right? Because it's taking longer for the trade to come into fruition. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this is a good sign at least. Because it looks like it's making a lower high or a lower low. So I'm like, all right, bet. Whatever. So it makes a lower high right here. And then we make a lower low. I was like, all right, beautiful. Then it pulls back, and then it eventually hits the general range where I exited. And I didn't make much money. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not at all. I only made $10, $9.86. My goal is to grow this account, which I started at 300. If you look over here, 497 right now. My goal is to grow this account from 300 to 1,000. That's my goal. My goal is to show that you can more than triple your account, and with consistency, with a trade plan, and just literally follow the plan. Keep it as simple. That's the whole message of my trading style, is just keeping your trading simple and stop trying to hit home runs. Like I'm not living off trading, right? If I was living off trading and I'm making $9, $10, that's a problem. That's a problem. This is more so just to improve my trading style. And then we're going to size up. So right now we're doing 300 to 1,000. Once we hit 1,000, then we'll go 3,000 to 10,000, and then we'll think of something else. But I want to keep you guys updated on the journey of just, and more so just harp on the fact that you got to keep your trading simple. Just keep it simple, bro. If you could take one thing from this, keep it simple. Stop overcomplicating it. And if you watch my previous video, you could see that I called this trade out. I called QQQ trade out. I didn't take it. Sometimes you got to readjust. Sometimes things don't go your way and you just got to look elsewhere. I normally just trade NVIDIA and sometimes QQQ. I keep it simple. I don't try to I don't have a scanner with 1 million stocks. I don't need any of that, bro. I don't need any of that. We're just practicing. We're not even practicing. We're just refining our strategy here. Just support resistance. That's really it. Like, that is as simple as it pretty much gets. Stop overcomplicating it. You don't need to buy I know people sell indicators. Why is that even a thing? Stop copying people's trades. Learn on your own. Click on YouTube videos like this. It don't got to be me, just anyone in general. But I hope I provided you with some sort of value here, right? And the value I was trying to give was keep it simple, all right? So if you want to stay tuned on this journey from 300 to 1,000, show some love. If not, it's cool. But you know where I'll be. I'll be on the charts. I'll be doing my thing. I'll be on the YouTube, man. So stay tuned. More on the way. Peace.